Good afternoon, everybody. This is Adrian coming at you, and this is not asset protection. I'm gonna been inspired to open up again and give you a little information on what I'm going through and how I attempt to pull myself out. I'm not even gonna say attempt, how I pull myself out. So this next video is a story about what I'm going through and how I'm gonna pull myself up out of this hole that I'm in right now. So this is an inspirational story. You're gonna like it. Just some of you might might not like it. But it's what I'm going through. It's real. This is not a sports storybook. I don't have a whole bunch of money. I'm not gonna tell you what I was doing and what I was going through. Once I make it to where I want to be, you're going to see from where I am now to in the future how I pull myself up out of this hole. So that's what's going to happen. The videos are coming up shortly. You're in for a treat. I believe a lot of people will be able to relate to what I'm going through right now. So you guys take it easy, and I'll see you in a minute. All right, so again, this is Adrian. So YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Again, it's Adrian coming at you. And I'm just going to fill you in briefly with my situation right here so you have an idea of what I'm going through. There's no script here, so I'm looking straight at you, and I'm going to give it to you as it's going down. So a few years ago, as I told you before, I spent a lot of time in prison. And I decided my last trip, a little over 5 years, that I was done with prison. So I came home and I decided to do the right thing and not make prison my second home. So with that being said, I wound up getting a job with the district attorney's office, and before that, I was living in the shelter. I lived in the shelter for about 2.5 years. I ran the shelter after about 7 months in the shelter. I ran the shelter for about 18 months. I was the house manager at the shelter. And then I got a job with the district attorney's office through going to meetings and putting myself around positive people in positive places. So I got a job as a case manager, making close to $40,000 a year, which is not bad for somebody with no formal education. And it allowed me to pull myself out of the shelter. I found a studio apartment and I moved in to the studio. So I stayed at the studio apartment for about 2 years. I met a young lady, and we got together. She moved in with me, and so now she has a young daughter, and basically it's the three of us. And we lived in the basement, in the studio, and I stayed here for about 2.5 years. All right, it got to the point where I was able to lease a brand new car. In 2016, I leased a brand new car. Things were looking up, and then I planned to get married. So I got married. Okay, before I got married, I had a stroke, and when I say I had a stroke, I mean I lost all senses. I lost my sight. I lost feeling in my left side of my body. I couldn't speak, and I couldn't move. I was on my way to work, and my wife was taking me to work, and she called an ambulance, and I pulled through. So after the stroke, the lady that I had been staying with for over 2 years said she didn't want me in the apartment anymore. Okay, and 2 years, 2.5 years, never late on the rent, but she said that she didn't want me there. She was a little scared that something might happen, and so on and so forth. So I had to find a place to live. Didn't want to go back to the shelter. That was not really an option for me. That wasn't something that I wanted to do. After living in a shelter for 2.5 years, that's not something that I wanted to do. But I didn't have any money saved up. So my wife, my girl at the time, went back to her parents with her daughter. And basically for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, I lived in abandoned buildings. I went through it. Shelter was not really where I was trying to go. So to make a long story short, I wound up going back to the shelter. I wound up not being able to work, okay? And that was the situation. I couldn't work anymore because of my health and stroke and so on and so forth. So I went back to the shelter. The lady charged me $560 a month. So I went and found another job, okay? I was working at Nassau Community College at nighttime from 10 at night to 7 in the morning. And that's what I did. And I planned my wedding. So with all this going on, I needed to get married. I wanted to settle down. And that's what we did. So September of last year is my first year anniversary. Is coming up this year. So we got married last year in September. We had a nice little small wedding, and a few friends came, and we enjoyed ourselves. So I continued to work, and now we needed a place to stay. The prospects were not good, and I had a friend in Queens who said, look, I got a place. It's not really ready for you to live, but you can come stay. And if you pay for the building materials, I'll make it livable. And that's what I did. I moved out to Queens by myself. Okay, left my wife in Long Island with her parents. And I moved to Queens. And I basically squatted. I squatted with my man and went to work. And bought the material that was needed: sheetrock, sinks, stoves, refrigerators, hot water heaters, whatever was needed to make the situation livable. And we got married. We got married, and so my wife moved in maybe January of that year. And this is where I am right now. So it hasn't lasted that long, meaning that got an eviction notice. Okay, so I'll tell you that in a week's time, my world sort of fell apart. So I was able to work long enough where I was able to get all the essential items that we needed for our home. Okay, the refrigerators, the hot water heaters, the sinks, the tubs, the sheetrock, all these things, I was able to work long enough to get it. And then I started getting sick, and I couldn't go to work. So what happened was I took a couple days off. So when I wanted to return to work, they said, listen, Adrian, you have to get a letter from the doctor saying that you can come back to work. So I went to the doctor's office, and I explained to him that I was having stomach issues, and that that's why I missed work. So they took some x-rays, and the next day they called me and they said, Mr. Williams, you need to go into the hospital immediately. All right, not later, not sooner, but you need to go into the hospital now. And so I went into the hospital. And come to find out, my heart was giving out. My heart was so weak that it could not pump blood throughout my body. So what they had to do was, I had open heart surgery. And essentially attached a pump to my heart to keep the blood flowing throughout my body. And that's the situation I'm in now. So right now I can't work. So I'm saying all this to say that these are the type of cards and things that life will throw at you. So I praise God for still being alive and being able to walk, having come through a couple of different types of strokes. I've had about 3 strokes, and I've come through. So again, I give God praise. So with that being said, let me bring you up to date, is that in a week's time, I lost my car. Okay. My daughter was taken out of daycare. They stopped my social disability checks for, excuse me, for about 3 or 4 months. So I was without that little money that they gave me. And then we got a notice saying that we had to leave where we were. Okay. So this video is to show you that with all this, you need a partner that is going to push you in the same direction. You can't have a partner who is going one way and you're going the other way. This is a time where you have to band together as a couple. You need to band together. Somebody needs to pick up the slack where the other one can't, and so on and so forth. So I'm at home most of the time because I can't work right now. So I do a lot of the housework. My wife goes to work, so I didn't turn into the house mom, so to speak. Yes, you feel what I'm saying? But it's what we need to do to get to the next step. So I'm involving myself in the real estate. That's why I'm putting out the real estate videos, all right, to involve myself, to learn some knowledge. And again, this video is about how to pull yourself up amidst all the things that you might be facing, all right? So I do the videos. I've been contacted by a friend of mine in Arizona who was going to introduce me into network marketing. So I'm going to be getting into the network marketing stage. But what I really wanted to tell you guys is how to prepare for an eviction. What you guys need to do once you find out that you can't stay where you are. I don't care if it's landlord, tenant. I don't care if it's your people. I don't care if it's your girl. I don't care if it's your mom's. It doesn't matter. Once you have been given that alternative that you have to leave, I'm going to tell you some things that you need to do, because I was kind of caught off guard, okay, in this situation. But God has smiled on me and given me a little more time to get myself prepared and my family prepared for the move. So the first thing you have to do, the minute you find out that you can no longer stay where you are, you need to start packing. All right, and I'm going to say this again. You need to start packing and get everything ready for when it's time to go. Because I'm telling you, that time is going to come, and if you're not ready, you're going to be running around crazy. All right? So the second thing you need to try to do is find out where you're going to go. All right? Now, there's all different types of organizations out here that will give you some deals, one-shot deals, and all these different things, but you need a source of income. You understand what I'm saying? To get a one-shot deal, you need a source of income. All right? So, again, it would be nice if we had money saved. Then I wouldn't be giving you this video, because I could just take my money and go find a place. So I'm an ex-con. I'm an ex-felon. So now my background is going to come into play. So now I'm going to need some reference letters. I'm going to need some reference letters to speak about the type of person I am. This is why it's paramount that whoever has been involved in the criminal justice system, whether male or female, that you come home and you do the right thing. Because now I can go to some people and say, listen, you know me, you've seen me working, you've seen me do some things, you've seen me donate my time toward good causes. I need a favor. Can I get a letter stating that, a good reference letter to show the landlord that I'm going? Your credit is going to be in question also. So these are the things that you need to work on immediately once you find out that you can no longer stay where you are. All right? Then you need to find out where you're going to go. I have a 3-year-old. All right? Right now, I'm in Southside Queens. All right, I'm on Godbrewer Boulevard, right off of Godbrewer Boulevard. I'm in the hood. You hear what I'm saying? So it's real. Like the police are stationed. There's not a police station, but they're stationed on the corner. That this is where they are. They got a car. They got a transit mobile unit. This is where they are. So it's real out here. You understand what I'm saying? So you want to put your daughter or your kids in the best location possible with the best schools. So you need to go and find out where are the good school systems, because where's the good school system, 9 times out of 10, the neighborhood is okay. So we're thinking about Jersey. So we rented a car, went to Jersey, and found some places, and this is where we're looking. For a 1-bedroom in New York, they want $1,800. At this present time, I can't afford that. So we found out in Jersey, I can get a 2-bedroom for about $1,300-1,400. All right, which is doable. You understand what I'm saying? Between my wife and I. All right. So you need to go, and and the places where you're going to go, you need to go at different times of the day so that you can see actually what's happening in the daytime, the middle time, the afternoon, and the evening, so you can get a good feel for what's happening at nighttime. Because you don't want your wife out there. You don't want to be out there caught in a bad situation. All right. So this is what I'm going through. It's real. So like I said, I named all the things. You got your credit, your reference letters. If you have a history, you need to praise God. Okay. You need to save some money. So I know you're saying, well, you rented a car and you did all these things. Well, how do you do that? Well, let me tell you something. I don't drink, I don't smoke, and I don't club no more. All right? Some of these things, in order to get where you need to go, you can't do them on the mess. So I don't smoke cigarettes anymore. I don't smoke weed anymore. And I don't drink beer. So I can't give these guys my money anymore. All right? So with that money being saved allows us to do a little things. So we keep some food, we're good. We got a roof over our heads for right now. But these are the things that you have to do to get yourself ready for the next move. And then, as I'm telling you, I'm going to pull myself up. All right, because I don't plan on being in this state forever. You understand what I'm saying? You have to change who you with. All right, you gotta leave some people alone. Because if you can't stay with them, then they can't help you. Now, I'm not saying that they're bad people. I'm not saying that at all. But if you want to change your situation, something has to change. So for me, okay, I'm involving myself with people that I want to be like. So my man is in Arizona. He's in network marketing. I need to be involved in that. All right? I need some income coming in, separate streams of income coming in from different places. My wife is going to work. I'm going to stay at home. I'm going to be on the computer. I'm going to continue to give you guys videos. And somebody, somewhere along the line, it's going to fall into place. Because when I was doing the wrong thing, it fell into place. All right? I wound up in jail a whole bunch of times. But the fruits from the bad stuff I was doing, it fell into place for me. So if I'm doing the right thing, sooner or later, it's going to fall into place. All right? So those are some of the things you need to do. Like I'm telling you, from day one, when they tell you that you can't stay any longer and you have a date to get out, that's the day you start packing or putting your stuff by the door. So when it's time to move, you're done. You're not running around crazy. Get your reference letters. If you're like me and you're a convict, you're going to need some. Credit is going to be an issue. All right? So you're going to need some people. All right, you're going to need some friends. You're going to need some people in real estate to help you out. You need to find a place to stay with a decent school system for your kids. All right? All these different things. And you want to find some different people to associate with. Some people that are not doing what everybody else is doing. You want to move up. So I'm telling you, I'm going to pull myself up. You guys watch me. All right? You understand what I'm saying? You see the position I'm in. I'm telling you the position I'm in. This was an open up video for me. It's all clear. My book is clear. I'm giving it to you live. All right, I'm in Jamaica, Queens, South Side, baby. All right, and it's real out here. All right, don't play yourself. If you're tired of getting what you always got, you have to change what you do. And I mean everything. All right, I hope that was good enough for you. I'm out of here. I'm going to sit back, watch a little TV, make some dinner, all right, and wait for the wife to get home. And that's how it's going down. This is Adrian coming at you, all right? I just want to give a shout out to my man Wendell. I love you, son. You heard me, all right? I took your advice, and I'm giving the people what they're going to need, because everybody doesn't have money to invest in real estate. Some of us are struggling. Some of us are fighting. Some of us are scrapping. All right, so this is for you guys. This is for the guys that are out here, the women that are out here that are fighting and scrapping to keep it together. All right, pull yourself up. Pull yourself up. Change some things. Change some people. Change the place. Don't blame everything on the devil. All right, sometimes God got to put you down to bring you up. So don't blame everything on the devil. He plays a part without a doubt. But everything is not his fault. Sometimes God plays a part. Sometimes he doesn't put you where you want to be because you're not ready yet. So I wasn't ready yet. So he's putting me in some places to make me ready. And when I'm ready to pull myself up, I'm putting in the work. I got faith. But faith without works is absolutely nothing. So you got to put the work in. And that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to be bringing you more information, network marketing, all different types of streams of income that you want to have coming in. All right. Hang with people that you emulate, that you want to be like. Okay. You want to be like Mike, then you got to play like Mike. You got to practice like Mike. You got to read some things. You got to study. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to close this out. This is 20 minutes, but I felt it was necessary to let everybody know where I'm coming from. It's not a joke. It's real. This is Adrian. Take it easy. And I'll see you guys for part 9 of asset protection. Take it easy.